personally have tried, 10, 15 self-defense cases. They're tough cases, but we accept them. So the law really hasn't changed that much. Stand your ground was a big thing, but really the law hasn't changed. And we believe in the right to bear arms and the right to self-defense. We felt in this case that it was not appropriate.
Hi, I'm Yisha Sunder with USA Today. John Guy talked about the fact that this was going to be a verdict that sent a message, and that it was going to be about what happens when a guy follows a young child and then shoots him. Could you tell me what you think about what this verdict means to the nation and what it says?
Yeah, I don't believe I ever said it was going to send a message. I mean, criminal cases are about defendants and victims. It's a, most instances like this one, a one-on-one confrontation. So
well,
it was.
A lot of people are watching it right now, and of course I'm getting a lot of, reactions on Facebook. I'm seeing all these posts about this, that, and the other, about justice not being done, and Encyclopedia Dramatica posted their pro-Zimmerman nonsense. Well, I've avoided commenting in public about this entire case because from the very beginning, I recognized what was happening. First of all, let's start from the very beginning. In my opinion, George Zimmerman fucked up. He was absolutely wrong for trying to be a vigilante. Now, you can make the argument that he was a neighborhood watch, and you can make the argument that, yes, he was legally allowed to carry a gun in the state of Florida. I'm not attacking his right to carry a gun. What I'm attacking is his overzealousness in vigilantism. And I believe that after this case, you're going to have laws put forward, because the problem with America is a very reactionary it's a very reactionary country. Anytime something like this happens, all of a sudden they start throwing together new laws so the politicians can actually lie to you and say they're doing something, when in actuality they're not doing anything except collecting money. Be that as it may, you can bet that you're going to see attempts to get rid of stand your ground. You can bet that you're going to see attempts to make laws against vigilantism. In my opinion, Americans, especially because we have the Second Amendment, some people try to twist the Second Amendment, make it sound like the Second Amendment is for hunting and shit. It's not. Second Amendment is so that you can protect yourself and your property from any incursion, not only the government, but also from other citizens. In my opinion, I don't know what the law says on it, but in my opinion, every animal has the right to self-defense. Every human being has the right to self-defense. Now, we have a Second Amendment to allow us to bear arms to ensure the self-defense. Now, the problem with this case is Zimmerman stalked Trayvon Martin and invoked a self-defense reaction from him that led to him supposedly pummeling Zimmerman on the ground. The problem is, when you attack somebody, if they haven't actually attacked you first, and we don't really know what happened that night, but if you attack somebody and they haven't attacked you first, and the witnesses claim that you were on top of somebody beating them down, what you've done is you've become the aggressor. And if you become the aggressor, then somebody else has the ability to take you out, especially with whatever weapon they've got. Now, Zimmerman did the absolute wrong thing, and I hope that he does face different charges. But even I could never, having good conscience, I could never have found him guilty of murder, because in order to murder somebody, you have to have the intent to murder somebody. You have to go out with a premeditation to kill a human being, and you have to carry it out. He is definitely guilty of manslaughter. He is definitely guilty of reckless endangerment for shooting in the public. He's definitely guilty of disturbing the peace, but he was not guilty of murder. Now that leads me to my second point. Why is it that the Florida fucking courts keep overcharging these cases? If I was a lawyer, and let me tell you something, I have lawyers in my family. I know nothing about the law according to the books, except what I've assembled from television and from listening to stories in the news and from reading and from being on Wikipedia and actually looking up the basis of laws and where they come from and the etymology of these laws. But the simple fact of the matter is, Zimmerman was not guilty of murder, but he was guilty of vigilantism, reckless endangerment, and a number of other things, disturbing the peace especially. But if the Florida courts keep overcharging, they're going to keep letting criminals go. Casey Anthony, I could have hung that bitch I could have hung her on negligent homicide. I could have hung that bitch on manslaughter. But how can you prove that she murdered her daughter if you can't get inside her mind? You know, it's like on these science fiction shows, someday you're going to have courts where we have telepaths or something, you know, in science fiction movies, and who knows, maybe it'll happen with the evolution of mankind. We never know. But if there were telepaths would be able to read your mind and instantly say, yeah, this guy planned to go out and kill somebody. Or this guy was trying to be a neighborhood watch and he was overzealous and he ended up getting his ass kicked and he turned to the gun as self-defense. Well, bottom line is this. Zimmerman is never going to be at peace after this. So for those of you who are happy he got off, you know, I'll say this. He didn't deserve to be charged with murder. The reason why he was charged with murder is because of MSNBC and CNN and the liberal media and Al Sharpton and Jesse Jackson pushing to have charges filed against him, whether or not his story was true or not. These people... and it's not just the blacks, it's the white liberals too. These people are after blood. When they see something like this happen, they go after the first thing they hear. What did they hear? George Zimmerman. Oh, he must be Jewish, based on the last name. He turns out not to be Jewish, but they still want him taken down. Guess what, guys? He's been found not guilty. He cannot be tried again for murder, but the next time they come around, because you can bet there's going to be civil trials, Trayvon Martin's parents can sue George Zimmerman, and any money that he could possibly make off of book sales or this, that, and other, any money he could possibly make, he's going to lose that. And he deserves to because he fucked up. His parents are going to sue him in civil court and they're going to win. If there's a second-degree murder charge, he probably will get convicted of that. And in Florida, the second-degree murder, from what I've been reading from law professionals and judges that have commented, carries a maximum sentence of 25 years. Possibly he could get life, depending upon what they decide to charge him with. But George Zimmerman is not walking free. He's getting off of murder, but just like OJ, he's going to get fucked in civil court. They're going to sue him for every last dime. And then you couldn't even live in that state anymore, considering everybody out there who's a gangster or one of these wannabe rapper terrorists, these motherfuckers are coming to kill you. Can you imagine, just give me a number, can you imagine how many black or Hispanic rappers or wannabe rappers who can't sell a fucking album, can you imagine how many of these assholes are out there right now who would love to fulfill the contract mark on George Zimmerman's head? Can you imagine going the rest of your days having to hide because the second you peek up, somebody's going to put a bullet in the back of your head just so they can make a name for themselves? Whether they had anything financially to gain from it or not, just to make a name for themselves, you're not going to be safe. Casey Anthony. Where the fuck is Casey Anthony? That bitch is out there hiding. And guess what? She's going to keep on hiding. Because the second she comes out into the public, they're going to crucify her, possibly murder her. And I believe she killed her daughter. I don't believe she murdered her daughter. I believe that she did something stupid, hung out, party, whatever, let her daughter get killed. Something happened. She tried to cover it up. That's what I believe. I didn't pay any attention to that case until the actual acquittal and the facts started coming out. But guess what, guys? If y'all going to keep overcharging these cases, you're going to keep watching people walk. And he deserves to walk because I don't believe that he murdered this person. I believe that he recklessly endangered him. And I believe that he stalked him. And I believe he killed him. The simple fact of the matter is, all murders are homicides, but not all homicides are murders.